Whew! Well, I almost didn't make it on time, but luckily, I was able to finish whatever I was doing. Hey, how you doing? And get back here. Luckily, we don't have to be too stingy. Was that right? All right, very good. Well, for all you, I've got a big old bowl of weird Halloween specials.
Monster in the Closet. This is the third special for Nilus the Sandman, before a series was eventually picked up for 2 seasons. And because of it, Nilus definitely feels like more of a central character here than he did in the Christmas special, which feels like it could just be a story about a kid visiting Santa Claus. Here the series starts to develop its own identity, with the dream world and the introduction of secondary characters, like the Boogeyman, who is actually a jovial lounge musician in this world.
Hey, what can I do for you up there in the blue?
I want to get rid of the monsters in my closet, Mr. Boogeyman.
And the Sandman's kinda love interest?
Hi, Dreamboat. Did you miss me?
Good evening, Venus.
Venus?
Look, this guy is giving middle schoolers the sly eye. We need to give him a girlfriend, no matter what kind of fetish he has.
Young, dumb, and orbiting a sun.
Also, I feel sheepish for not knowing that Nilus is played by Long John Baldry, aka Dr. Robotnik himself.
Snooping as usual, I see.
But again, the fact that I didn't notice in the first special really shows just how overshadowed he was in his own.
A simple trick I learned from Harry Houdini. Such a clever little boy when we met.
Another reason this feels more like an animated pilot rather than a holiday special is because there's no actual mention of Halloween, despite this definitely being released as one. And the monster designs and animation go super hard in this. A young boy is afraid to go to sleep because he thinks his closet is full of monsters. So Nilus shows up and, yes, confirms that his closet is a gateway to a horrible nightmare world.
Close your eyes, my friend, and you will see things in a different light.
But when it's revealed that all these creatures are simply analogs for other things hanging up in his closet, it becomes obvious who the real king of nightmares is.
You see, there's you, Jeremy, and then there's the part of you that makes things up.
Oh, it's a metaphor. So thanks to the Sandman, Jeremy is able to defeat his overactive imagination and actually starts to enjoy his dreams again. And Nilus is free to do other things.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Pumpkin Moon. This special gets its name after the children's book that it's based off of, and not the Terraria Halloween event. So, hello, all you confused 2D Minecraft players. That was just a joke. Please don't get mad at me. I don't know what that is. Anyway, the book is a bit surreal when it comes to its artwork, and minimalist when it comes to its writing. It's Halloween. Oh, I'm sorry, it was written in English. It's Halloween, isn't it? Kind of feels like the illustrator, Simon Bartram, did the lion's share when it came to making this book really memorable, with atmospheric illustrations of pumpkins floating across the countryside, into the town, and finally up into the moon. And also the weird black-eyed children, which... Is that a thing in London? In England?
What horrifying little children! I shall be frightened for hours!
The animated special features much of the same imagery, with the added complexity of a story about a black cat forming a friendship with a discarded pumpkin, who somehow manages to get its own candle and come alive with all the other pumpkins. Then there are all these witch decorations who want to snuff out all the pumpkins so they can take over the world or something?
Tonight will blow out the pumpkin's glow, and evil will reign wherever we go. The time has come to fight to the end. No longer you'll be the children's friend.
And if this all sounds too confusing, don't worry. It's all explained properly when the cat starts singing her musical number.
Stop where you are. Put down your broomsticks. I'm fed up with you and the bad things you do.
I mean, I kinda get it. The vague war between the pumpkins and all the other kinds of Halloween decorations. It's like how people carve jack-o'-lanterns to keep spooky spirits away during the Halloween night. But it gets a little complicated when you factor in the escort mission with the rotten pumpkin, and when one of the witches uses mind control on the cat to get her to do her dark bidding. You know what this needed? The snowman treatment. You know how that shirt was just a kid and his snowman hanging out around the house, flying around the town, and just going to a party? Just a kind of meditation on the sights and sounds of the holiday. That's what this book kind of reminded me of. And that's what I thought we were going to get when they showed the cat stashing away a pumpkin seed, then planting it herself, and then tending to it. Oh, and speaking of extras, if you did watch this on DVD, you get to see these segments hosted by this mummy Muppet.
Now then, did you see me in the story? Look, that's me. Coming undone. Hey, I've got nothing on but me glasses. Oh, that's better.
The whole thing gives me Penelope Pumpkin flashbacks.
These aren't really dried scabs, they're dried cranberries. But if you do want dried scabs, I know a nice place where they let you pick your own.
There are times when this special manages to capture the sentiment of this book, but it's also kind of doing its own weird thing. Also, do the people know or not know that flying pumpkins are going around their town? Oh, the pumpkins are flying again!
No one will stop us getting to Pumpkin Moon. Oh, Pumpkin Moon.
Velma, that one Halloween special. What was this called? Who cares? Okay, so is this the thing that killed Scooby-Doo? Like, they haven't announced anything new for, like, 2 years. Or maybe it's a combo of this and Scoob and multiverses and just everything about Warner Brothers animation over the last couple years. Personally, I think Velma is a rough watch, with some gold nuggets tucked in here and there.
I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
I have a feeling that there was some executive at Warner Brothers that was just, what the hell? I thought all you Tumblr twerps loved this race swap, edgy storytelling bullshit. And yeah, people do. But they also want the gang solving mysteries with their dog. Not some weird not prequel with nasty annoying characters and dated meta commentary.
Have you ever noticed how pilot episodes of TV shows always have more gratuitous sex and nudity than the rest of the series?
So after 2 seasons, the show got a Halloween special, where the gang tries to bring Velma back from the dead. And as part of some ritual, everyone needs to overcome their greatest fears. It kinda really doesn't matter. But oddly enough, the special does have a really amusing mystery. I'm actually debating whether or not to spoil. Screw it. The old bitch is a witch.
Okay, but why kill Jeff and then pretend to be his ghost to kill others?
Because dark magic needs fear to work.
Turns out her evil spell book is powered by fear.
But when sexy Halloween became popular, sexy costumes replaced the scary ones. People would not stop slutting it up on Halloween.
Oh, that hits a little close to home. Don't know. I just like the idea of someone having a reason to be mad at sexy costumes and trying to get an urban legend started. It's actually kind of too good for the series. It was really clever of the book to trick the gang into resurrecting another ghost. turning him into a zombie and scaring people to generate more power.
I have the power I need to raise an army of zombies, and then I'll have the power I need to rule the world!
Wait a minute. If you watch the series, I know, big ask, but you can see this character pop up in so many places. She was the old principal of the high school. And the last 2 seasons were about how the whole town was terrified by a series of disappearances and murders. If the book needs fear, then the last 2 years in Crystal Cove have been like a huge smorgasbord. Was she out of town when a mutant dog went on a killing spree a week ago? Oh wait, I think she was. Okay, Velma, I'll give you that one. They specify that Halloween is the day that the magic is strongest, so maybe she had to wait. But it's not going to be Halloween forever. This just makes me want to watch The Witch's Ghost again. By the way, Velma sacrifices herself to pull the crone down to hell, but just pops back up in her body at the end. Why? How? Yeah, it doesn't matter. And you know what's worse? I kind of want to see more Richard Kind as the voice of the evil digital book.
Again, this is not actually Richard Kind. This is the evil spellbook speaking to you with Richard Kind's voice.
Like, the idea is so good. A digitized spellbook becoming an evil AI. Or, you know, just a different kind of evil AI.
I understand, Richard Kind.
Oh boy.
Terrifying Tales of Recess. For those who don't know, Recess was a fantastic show from the late 90s. It was basically Hogan's Heroes, but set in a school. Okay, for those who don't know, Hogan's Heroes was, whatever. It was a great show, and one that had a spooky amount of foresight.
But it's the Haunted Pumpkinhead Brigade. They struck terror into the enemy and knocked down the Berlin Wall. Unless you believe those history books.
For the Halloween special, Butch, the schoolyard orator of tall tales and spooky hearsay, finally gets to shine in his own episode as he narrates 3 supernatural tales of 3rd Street Elementary.
Simpsons did it! Simpsons did it!
Yeah, it's kind of aping off of The Simpsons back when the format was relatively fresh. But at least this actually premiered on Halloween, unlike the many Simpsons Halloween specials at the time. And you could totally tell they were having some real fun pushing the boundaries of their world.
Hold on there, governor. Me and me mates here would like to lend a hand. That monster spilled our bloomin' lunch. Glad for the help, Cockney kid.
Which figures, since this was not only one of the last 6 episodes produced, it was actually the last episode to air in the original run. Yeah, they were cool enough to actually save this for Halloween. Which means one of the last things the Recess viewers saw was the gang melting a bunch of Finster zombies with month-old cafeteria tomato soup.
There's enough acid in it to melt an entire village full of zombies. Poor dumb ghastly freaks.
It's not blood, but it's blood. What are you gonna do, cancel us? One segment is basically just Maximum Overdrive, but with bikes. Decades before it became a beloved internet punching bag.
That's odd. It's impossible for a bike to stay balanced without a rider. That's odder and even more impossible.
Man, I forgot how fun this show was.
We can't keep running forever. Well, I could, but you guys can't.
Although, watching kids barricade themselves in schoolrooms just feels really sad now.
Oh no, the bike cut the power!
The best segment is the one where Corn Chip Girl gets a bad supply of English snack foods and ends up turning into a monster. It actually has the structure of a decent slow burn, where we spend a lot more time looking at the events from the kid's perspective.
Poor sweet Kelso.
He's okay, Mikey. They've already downgraded his condition from scared stiff to spooked silly. However, his pyramid of canned yams will never recover.
Even though it's fairly obvious what's going on. What I find so hilarious about this segment is just how down-to-clown evil the usually sweet and demure Corn Chip Girl is after eating just one potato chip.
There's a monster prowling around school. I know.
But also when we finally reveal her monster design. Aw, she's just the cutest little werewolf ever. She's standing on her tippy toes like a hairy Powerpuff Girl. Makes it even weirder when they just straight up decide to toss her off a building.
Jesus, Joel! Shit!
So yeah, Halloween premieres are rare, but Halloween finales are just out there. Which is weird that Recess kinda got 2 of them? Something 2 nickels. But that's a story for another day.
Happy Halloween.
Let's stop in on the Addams for another festive Halloween, shall we?
Ah, yes. Going door to door and being pelted with rocks and garbage.
Our neighbors have always treated us so nicely.
This time with the 1993 animated version of the family. And to get in the spooky mood, Granny decides to tell the story of a cursed golfer. Huh. Why do I have the feeling this was a unused script for a pup named Scooby-Doo?
The Puttergeist is real. Not like those creatures that supposedly live in Uncle Fester's laundry hamper.
Darling, there are creatures living in Uncle Fester's hamper.
Hot off the first live-action movie, Hanna-Barbera would be crazy not to take another swing at the show. All in all, this is a pretty good version of the Addams Family, and one that I think stands out for having its own distinct identity. You have John Astin reprising his role as Gomez. You can tell he hasn't missed a beat since the original. And of course, the animated version is a bigger improvement over the Halloween special we saw last year.
I enjoyed playing the game. Let's play it again sometime soon. When I said soon, I didn't have this in mind, gentlemen.
In an inspired bit of casting, they have Rip Torn as Uncle Fester, bringing some really unhinged, yet innocent energy.
I'm going trick-or-treating at the funeral parlor. Lou always gives out cups of embalming fluid. I want to get there early before he runs out.
Finally, I think people misconstrue this version of Wednesday as being more cheerful than you'd expect. But I would say that she's just more poetic.
Then I guess the Puttergeist isn't real.
Dear sweet NJ, I know this discovery must leave you stunned, heartbroken, an empty shell of a human being. Oh, how I envy you.
But what I love about this series is the fact that they live next to people who are actually way bigger freakos than the Addams Family ever could be.
Ooh, let me give them their scoop of your world-famous potato salad, my little vegetable medley.
Of course, Knucklecracker.
But one thing that stood out to me about this special was just how disjointed it is. Like, they're always stopping to do some weird random bits, which I guess is something you'd expect from the Addams Family, but it just comes off as a little annoying. Like, they have 3 different false starts for telling the annual Halloween story of the Puttergeist.
It all began 40 years ago on Halloween night. A raging thunderstorm swept across the Happydale Heights golf course when a foolish golfer made his way across the course that dark night.
I mean, what kind of idiot would go golfing in a lightning storm? Oh, please. A question. Why did they treat this story with so much reverence? I mean, it's about some random guy, right? Not a relative. The Addams Family tree is probably filled with hundreds of more interesting individuals. Like the literal ghost of Halloween.
He does remind me of Uncle Goner that time he tried to saw those barnacles off his neck.
Also, what I find so strange is that the kids are so disbelieving. I mean, they walk around with a bodiless hand all the time. Why are they so incredulous about a headless body?
Somebody is obviously just pretending, right, Thing?
And you might think it's pretty weird to have kids dress up as their parents for Halloween.
This better not awaken anything in me.
But I think this is a reference to that pretty infamous flashback episode where Gomez met Morticia, and she was dressed up just like Wednesday. It's so infamous that they basically just redid it for the 2000s Fox Family reboot.
This better not awaken anything in me.
So anyway, when they see the Puttergeist roaming around the neighborhood on Halloween, they decide to catch him, because that way the episode can happen. Anyway, after dispatching him in the most brutally off-screen way possible, they unmask him and find out, oh, it was the underwear dad. Why did he do it? White cis male fragility.
The legend began with Grandpa Normanmeyer. He started the story, and when people didn't believe it, he made the costume and the legend began.
But it's really okay because the father and son actually bonded over this Halloween tradition. And as consolation, the real Puttergeist shows up. You can tell this is the real Puttergeist because he's voiced by Jim Cummings, doing his great gravelly voice. Compared to Rob Paulson's weird, borderline racist Fu Manchu voice.
Beware all who dare enter the domain of the Puttergeist!
You could just tell Norm got so deep into the alt-right later in life.
Trick or treat! Thank you!
Summer's Sleepover.
Summer's Sleepover.
So yeah, kind of weird that after 8 seasons, Rick and Morty hasn't actually had a Halloween special. I mean, it kind of has. Those claymation bumpers they used to show were really freaky, by design of course. Created by the imaginative Lee Hardcastle, a British independent filmmaker who explores the strange and surreal through the medium of clay stop motion. Many of these great bumpers feature homages to spooky month properties, from Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice, Blair Witch, to The Fly, Tremors, and Hereditary. Soon this all combinated into Summer's Sleepover, a hefty 10-minute short that premiered on Adult Swim YouTube channel in October of 2022. What follows is a deeply bizarre psychedelic journey into the minds of the house's inhabitants through the focused lens of Summer and her slumber party. The whole thing is very reminiscent of the 1980s version of From Beyond. Basically, Rick is screwing around with some sort of alien creature that incapacitates him, who then cozies up to Summer and her friends during the titular slumber party. I don't know if it actually puts the girls to sleep with its weird goo spray, or if that was just a visual transition to show that time has passed. Either way, then the creature starts to make a habitat in the attic and absorbs the girl into these weird ceiling pods. Here's one thing I don't quite understand. There's this one part where Nancy starts to freak out a bit and goes to the bathroom, where she goes through a transformation. By the way, this is sadly probably the most love Nancy is given through the whole series.
Also later, we need to discuss your clothing and your weight.
That's fair.
Then later on, after Trisha just kind of vanishes, Summer comes into the bathroom and finds Monster Nancy. Is this a shared thing, or is this just Summer's dream? Because Jerry has his own dream, and I think this is just his. It'd be weird if Summer was thinking about her dad with some blue alien. Boy, I wonder why this specific section is the most viewed. Luckily, Rick manages to come and take out the beastie, and once free of the alien's influence, Summer and her friends just start dancing to music all over again. I mean, how else would you put it into this? We've talked about a lot of different types of Halloween specials over the years, haven't we? Specials for TV shows, special TV movies, specials for web series. But how about a Halloween special for software? Sprite Fright is a YouTube short released on October 29th, 2021.
For leaf and stone. You picked the wrong camping spot, bitches.
Written and directed by Matthew Liu and produced by the Blender Foundation, and made with the Open 3D software itself. See, every once in a while, Blender likes to release these short films to show off how the software is doing, its updates, its capacities, and the different techniques and tools that people have made for it.
Brilliant! I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
In a 1980s homage to horror films, or video nasties for the UK, the plot follows a group of, I don't know, like college-age students as they venture into the forest for some sort of ecological assignment.
If I have to hear the Latin name for one more animal, I swear I'm gonna kill her.
Relax, Sugar Buns. While she does all the work, we'll have all the fun.
The only one taking it really seriously is Ellie. She's the only one that actually notices something strange about the campsite, and upon closer inspection, stumbles across a village of these Smurf-like creatures that are clearly custodians of the forest. Naturally, the douchebag kids start to wonder how they can use this new discovery for their benefit. But it also turns out that these little sprites might not be as cute and naive as they seem. You know what I like about independent projects like this? There is no pressure to push towards a demographic. A studio would probably see this, where a corpse gets set on fire, and appropriately say, well, that's not for kids. So let's aim for the R rating by throwing in a bunch of gratuitous nudity and curse words. But that's not what this is. It just exists in its own little spot where it belongs. And besides, the real purpose of this film is, again, a tech demo. And yeah, it's super impressive, and shows what a community of artists can work towards. This is the 13th short film released by the Foundation, and if it's not clear that it's rivaling industrial software, then surely the fact that last year's Oscar for Best Animated Feature went to a movie that was entirely produced by the software. If you are interested in Blender, again, it's free, and there are tons of tutorials online. As opposed to generative AI, which just steals stuff to produce slop. Now that's scary.
All right, sprites, let's burn the bodies and have some peppermint tea.
Are You Afraid of the Dark very much cemented Nick as the network for kids when it premiered during SNICK, the Saturday night block. There was nothing quite like it at the time. A horror anthology for kids that didn't back down from showing actual scares. Mainly because it was shown later at night. Unlike, say, Goosebumps, which aired during Saturday morning. I mean, there's some overlap, but shit, man. Nick couldn't ask for a better show for October. And what better story to tell than one about the Headless Horseman? I mean, you think, but The Tale of the Midnight Ride was actually the Season 3 premiere, which aired in January. What's the deal with having Halloween specials that don't air in October? Like, lots of shows do this, and I know I live in a glass house, but it still just kind of bugs me. The real event I got hyped up as this series' Halloween special was the first two-parter.
The Tale of Cutter's Treasure.
One episode aired a week before Halloween, the second the day before, and it re-aired the whole thing all together on Halloween night. And it's noteworthy for a couple reasons. It's the first collaborative story.
Two of us are telling the story tonight.
You're kidding, why?
Because it's so major, it needs the best of both of us.
And more importantly, it also features two series regulars. Actually, the only series regulars. Mr. Sardo and that nutbag, Dr. Vink.
That's Sardo!
No, mister. Accent on the dough. Vink's the name. Dr. Vink. And I am not a nutbag.
As a kid, I was like, okay. But I think I was too young to appreciate the hype up of these two meeting until I realized that they really have been featured in some of the best episodes of the series' history. Sardo was always a fixed point in the Are You Afraid of the Dark world. People would go to his shop and they would buy or steal weird stuff that would get them in trouble. And then he'd often have to show up again at the end of the episode, revealing that he never really understood what he had in the first place.
Have you seen our vomit?
Meanwhile, Dr. Vic was the real deal. Sort of a vagabond, going here and there, with all sorts of bizarre curios, with unimaginable powers. Usually something within the public domain, or that $1 store gargoyle that can turn your fear into a delicious soup. Also, I just realized that these characters actually belong to their respective storytellers. Because of course Dr. Vink only shows up in Frank's stories, and Sardot mostly in Gary's stories. As a kid, you think, oh, well, they're just telling scary stories. But no, like, their characters around the campfire have their own stories and styles. It's just really cool to think about.
We got mommy issues, chaos junkie, obnoxious asshole issues. You seem kind of weirdly self-actualized as far as I can tell.
As for the actual story, it's good. A pirate kidnaps a kid's little brother in order to force a confrontation, hoping the battle would release his soul from the prison of gold that he has made. Charles S. Dutton does a great job as Cutter. So yeah, still not sure why they couldn't save the Sleepy Hollow one for Halloween. Those episodes aren't even in the same season. But I do have a newfound appreciation for the Are You Afraid of the Dark lore.
Listen. What other little adventures do you think we might be able to cook up together?
For those who don't know, Chucklebone is an animator who made a big splash on YouTube last year. Known for his snappy movements, unique line work, and hilarious takes on beloved characters that can sometimes be sentimentally sweet. Sometimes. However, I would like to talk about a little project of theirs that was just released last year. A series of shorts called Maze Ghost.
The Maze Ghost
Tells a story of a young boy trepidatiously making his way through a corn maze. Just as he's about to leave, he meets PK Seed, who helps and or goads him to travel deeper into the maze.
What the little ghost boy? Where are you going?
Sorry, I'm not going this way.
Congratulations on entering the maze on Halloween night. You've accepted my challenge.
I do not consent.
For about a year, I had this in the back of my head, debating if I wanted to add it to the list, just for the notoriety of it being a special release through this new format. There's lots of reasons to hate shorts, but they can be useful for quick tutorials. Artists can show off artwork or even little snippets of their animation. And Maze Ghost takes total advantage of that.
Oh, yes, I'm climbing the walls. Okay, fine.
It was just a year ago that shorts were limited to 1 minute. So this reminds me of the old days of watching a movie in 10-minute chunks. It's like new and nostalgic at the same time. But then I really started to look into the substance of what was going on here.
Happy Halloween. I can't go to a teenager party. Are you insane? Plus, Neil says Lisa has a crush on me. What's wrong with her? A little spooky. You're making my martini sour.
There are so many Halloween specials about holding on to that unique feeling that you had as a kid. You know, the magic of pretend and indulging in mischief at least just for one night. It's important not to let that spark go out. But at the same time, there are also few specials that show how to gracefully age out of childhood vices. Not necessarily candy or having fun at Halloween, but stinginess, greed, and callousness.
Hey, that felt good. I mean, I love eating candy, but Halloween is just as much about giving it away.
Got any more? What? And being afraid to try new experiences. Note how Little Ghost doesn't want to go in the maze at first. Then it's revealed in the surprise prelude, a trick that you can only pull in this format. We see now he's afraid to go to the party and doesn't want to leave the maze. You can't keep doing that. And PK is there to remind him that he shouldn't be afraid, and that there's always an option.
But what if I want to leave?
Then leave.
So with one final bit of encouragement from his new friend, Little Ghost moves on to the next horizon.
Looking dapper, Ghost Boy. Happy Halloween!
Tired of all the use of gratuitous CGI and trying to sneak AI past audiences? I know you're craving a true experience this Halloween. An artful mix of practical and special effects. The combination of many talents, guided by the hand of a true auteur filmmaker.
What manner of devil made him?
Oh. Well, let's lower the juice and give it another shot, shall we?
Franken Thumb was the third in a series of specials produced by Steve Odenkirk, creator of Jimmy Neutron, Back at the Barnyard, and Kung Pao. The Thumb collection utilizes the emergent technology of computers to make parodies of popular movies with faces projected on thumbs, way before Annoying Orange was a glint in someone's eye. Although this is definitely filled with the humor of the time.
The program that you are about to witness may surprise you. It may shock you. It may even track you down and get you. I have just wet myself, and now must go.
One idea that struck me while watching this was just the logistics of tracking down a bunch of different varieties of thumbs. Like, that's a weird casting call. We need a skinny thumb, a fat thumb, a long thumb. Your left thumb could be your stunt actor for your right thumb. Also, just the logistics of shooting everything on such a small scale. Like, there are some actually impressive and well-planned camera movements here. But how's the story? Well, for starters, Frankenstein is not frightened of his creation at first, and actually tries to teach,
We shall call him Pepper.
Pepper?
Because he really spiced up our lives.
This does not go well, as there is a prolonged sequence where Pepper just eviscerates a bunch of small animals. And the doctor just keeps giving him more and more and more. All off screen, of course, until you cut back to the huge corpse pile. Yeesh. Then we are treated to this haunting sequence of the monster's moans and screams echoing through the castle, begging for his creator's love. It's surprisingly in keeping with the themes of the book, and unexpectedly moving.
Oh, there must be some other solution.
No, I really think you should kill it.
But I gave it life.
Take it back!
But then they make the mistake of actually trying to deal with it. After escaping the castle and getting into trouble with the rest of the townfolk, who were high-strung to begin with, really.
There must be something going on that we don't approve of.
Yeah! Kill something! Destroy it! Yeah, whatever!
Frankenstein has to find a way to save his creation.
What the hell is that? I'm Franken Thumb.
I mean, sure. No one told him he couldn't make a Batman. Kinda seems like an obvious solution to most things, if you think about it.
Pepper, he's not burnt up.
Ah, he repeated the line from the beginning.
He's not burnt up.
Yeah, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
And it ends with them saying they're going to rule the world. So, they, like, win, I guess? Good for them.
Let's all go have some mortadella!
Crown of Bog. Remember last year when I talked about the wickedest witch and how it seemed like this weird anomaly of all these different things coming together to make a bizarre Halloween special? Well, during my research this year, I found out about the Crown of Bog, the precursor to the wickedest witch.
Once upon a time, on a Halloween night, there came from the ground
a mysterious light. It came up a tunnel and passed through the fog, where far underground lies a kingdom called Bog.
A Halloween special produced by Paul Fusco, aka Alf, for his local affiliate in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But a lot like The Wickedest Witch, I had to wait to find a decent recording of it. And the internet came through just again this year. Even then, the audio quality is as such that if you're on headphones, it always kind of sounds like this museum is always vaguely being robbed. By the way, that's not the curator's regular outfit. She's just dressed up as Rusty Venture for Halloween.
Oh my, what interesting masks. Do you know that your masks look almost real?
Never touched, dear.
It's kind of weird to think that this is one of the projects that helped Fusco launch his career, playing Alf for 4 years, and then playing Alf in every other thing that wasn't Alf for 35 years.
Give me 4. Or not.
So our story begins one Halloween night when Prince Milo is about to reluctantly accept King Mildew's throne.
In tradition, we have followed on this most mystic holiday, All Hallows Eve.
Yes, our most mystical and sacred holiday.
When all of a sudden they are interrupted by the evil Vandrin and his son Vandal. Oh, I just noticed each family has their own little mountain that looks like them. That's pretty neat. Anyway, from this point on, this special suffers from irritable plot syndrome, because between stretches of just vibing, someone needs to take a big info dump of increasing levels of convolutedness.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to scare you. We're just after this crown.
The crown? This crown here?
I'm King Mildew, and this is my son Milo. We're in a lot of trouble.
King who?
Well, look, I'm King Mildew, and Milo here is supposed to be named heir to my throne. We were just about to coronate him when my brother Vandrin announced his challenge to the crown.
What? What challenge? What heir? What kingdom?
Look, it's really simple. All we need is a crown.
You want this crown here?
Yeah, that's right. We gotta have a curse or no curse.
And you know about the curse? How do you know about the curse?
How do you know about the curse?
Supposedly when this crown was found many years ago, the original curator found these scrolls and
They even have to take an info dump in the middle of the fight sequences.
I translated the curse. It says that anyone from your kingdom who touches the crown past the hour of midnight on All Hallows Eve shall turn to stone. Look at the statues around this room. Don't they look familiar to you?
Well, that's Fungus! Milo! That's your Uncle Mold!
He's right. Look, it's Arnie Garlic, my old accountant.
You know, sometimes I think we take for granted just how influential Star Wars was around 1981. So when the king and the evil puppet start using force pools to fight each other, I'm sure this was a huge pop-off for all the kids in Grand Rapids. See, I told you we had Star Wars at home. So, you know that bit at the start where Milo had doubts about being a good leader? Well, he sure proved himself that Halloween night by doing everything his dad told him to do, including just straight up murder. But, you know, it's kind of nice seeing not one, but 2 sets of father and sons bonding.
Oh, you're so despicable, Daddy.
Why, thank you, son.
And now The Wickedest Witch just seems to make a lot more sense to me. Kinda. It was basically just a remake of The Crown of Bog, with the underground kingdom and the evil magic user and the convoluted lore. Only I think The Crown of Bog makes a better Halloween special. For one, it actually features Halloween decorations and trick-or-treaters, and not just some kid in his bedroom with a magic kit, alone, on Halloween. Also, it just makes sense that a wizard would make Halloween the one night it would be safe to touch the crown and not turn into a statue. I mean, that's what I would do if I were a wizard. So yeah, basically, The Wickedest Witch is just Paul remaking his first project after he got money, recognition, and access to a golden girl. The only thing really missing is the floating head giving exposition. Hey, wait a minute.
Come on, let's get out of here. Help
Bye,
me down
you
the
two.
hall. So long, Doc.
Good luck.
No more tabby paw pie for me before bedtime.
Did you know that Fall Guy, the movie starring Ryan Gosling, was actually based off a 1980s TV series? Because I sure didn't. That is until I came across this archive video of the Fall Guy Halloween special, aptly named October 31st, starring none other than Elvira herself.
Aren't you gonna put on a nightgown? This is my nightgown.
I apologize for the poor quality, but for some reason you can't find the rest of this series beyond seasons 1 and 2. Apparently you can find it on some UK streaming services, which is why this video is sponsored by... For those who like me who didn't know the premise of the series, Lee Majors stars as a tough-living stuntman who moonlights as a bounty hunter and mystery solver with the rest of his stunt crew. The 80s were kinda goofy, weren't they? In this episode, Lee Majors is working on a horror movie that happens to star Elvira herself. I love this little bit at the beginning, where they clearly don't have enough footage of Elvira to react to this weird zombie thing chasing a woman through a mausoleum. So they just froze the footage until it was time for her to do something. I see you. In classic Elvira fashion, she is very open with her opinions.
No, listen, sweetheart. I knock bad movies. I do not star in them.
She tries to get out of her contract. That is until she actually gets a good look at Lee Majors and goes all Marge Simpson. Meanwhile, an elderly couple are lamenting their money woes.
The bank and the IRS are fighting over which one of them is going to take our house away from us. I'd say that's cause for some alarm.
At first, the wife is excited at the prospect of having a movie filmed in their home. But the husband, poor great John Carradine, is far more apprehensive.
May the hounds of hell drive you to doom.
Don't worry about your pets, Mr. Deauville.
From what I could tell, one of the biggest draws of this show is seeing all the stunts. And because Lee plays a stuntman, they don't necessarily have to fit in with the plot. But here, that notion is used to fake us out. We assume he's having a laydown inside of the mansion when he's attacked by a spirit. But it didn't take long for me to realize that this was just one of the movie's scenes. But that doesn't mean that someone isn't sabotaging the production.
Well, it'd been a lot better if I'd hit a breakaway candelabra instead of the real one.
What are you talking about? It can't be the real one. We switched it for the stunt.
Somebody must have switched him back at the last minute.
Right under our noses? That can't be possible.
Then, after an incident on the stairs, it appears that the old man's ghost is haunting them. I feel so sorry for this one lady, since the ghost only seems to be spooking her.
I saw him again.
Who?
I'm not crazy. It was Preston Deauville. I saw him.
So most of the special is the gang and Elvira investigating the haunted mansion. They even dig up the body to make sure that the old man is dead.
Digging up graves by the light of the moon in the middle of a rainstorm on Halloween night? Man after my own heart.
Well, it turns out he had an identical twin brother that he kept locked away in a secret chamber in one of the higher-up wings of the house. Why? Well, it turns out he killed his own mother when they were very young, and then blamed his mentally ill brother on it. And was trying to get away with murder again with the help of his twisted wife.
So we could collect the insurance money and save the house. I didn't mean to do it.
I'll send you back to the grave. I killed you once and I will do it again.
Oh!
So I have a question. Why mess with the production after the fact? You get money from both the studio and the insurance. All you need to do was hang low for 5 days and you could keep your home. You couldn't go anywhere or do anything, but it kind of feels like you were a bit of a homebody to begin with. What with hiding your mother's corpse in the basement and all. And he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those pesky kids. And they're all Vira too.
How did you know that it was the twin that came back and killed Preston and not the other way around?
Wait, what?
Preston was a southpaw, and his brother was right-handed.
So what does that tell you?
Well, when I noticed the bruising on your hand, from where he had gripped it, his left hand left a much larger bruise than the right.
Is that what happened? But the old lady... Okay, but the tacked-on double twist wasn't even the weirdest thing about this. In the beginning, John Carradine fires his staff at the manor. I thought it was a weird scene with all of them just standing in the graveyard like this. And then you have this Saturday morning delivery.
But you'll starve without my hearty Chopino Royale, or my luminous linguine alla fresco, not to mention my awesome osso.
But then I realized that they're all John's kids. Robert, Keith, and David Carradine. Weird how he kind of berates each of them.
All I ever wanted was a decent ham sandwich.
Yeah, so this is why you need to hire a real therapist and not just bill the studio.
You might say that Dovio made a grave error.
I am so excited because I have found what I hope to be an entirely new reservoir of Halloween specials. It was right under my nose the whole time. Hallmark! Yes, the greeting card company / cable network may be infamous for its Christmas specials, but even back in the day, Hallmark was always trying to recreate the same holiday magic with Halloween. And they have a number of specials and TV movies that I've mostly overlooked until now. 2 words: Sexy Frankenstein. But now I want to talk about one of the first Halloween TV movies the channel produced after its launch in 2001. The Monster Makers, starring Linda Blair and Adam Baldwin. The shittiest Baldwin. But, like, it's really starring these 2 kids. And computer screens.
On monsterfinder.com.
And I just used up a month of AOL. In a send-up to classic B movies of the 40s and 50s, this is the story of a kid who moves to a town with Linda Blair mom, where she stays as an in-house nurse for an elderly film producer.
So just take 1 at bedtime.
Just for fun at bedtime. Why is she yelling?
On Halloween night, the boy and his friend watch an old movie they found in the basement.
Presented for the first time using a revolutionary new type of movie film, radium acetate, with 5 times the clarity of regular film. If the picture wasn't black and white, you'd swear they were about to walk right off the screen.
And then a bolt of lightning brings the characters to life, just like it did decades ago. What's that Clark quote about how if you're gonna write technology so stupid that it might as well be magic? Man, these monsters are so lame. Kinda. I don't know. I mean, one is just a body hopper, like from Fallen or The Exorcist 3. Like, they have one shot of the ghost going into a body. Just one. Then when they want to show the ghost moving from body to body, they use seasickness vision. Sometimes they don't even do that. But you can always tell for sure when someone cracks their joints.
See ya, wouldn't wanna be ya.
Also, possessed people are unbelievably hammy. Still hard to tell. Then there's the arm monster, attached to a shirtless mannequin. You know, typical Hallmark casting. But like his skin is nailed to the dummy. That's some Hellraiser stuff. But its reign of terror basically involves walking up to a Halloween picnic and grabbing someone's arm.
I'm happy to announce that the proceeds of our haunted house come to well over $200.
Then some guy immediately lights a torch and sticks it in his face. Like no one tries to just pull him off. As the rest of the party lights torches and chases after him. But before they can get him, the possessed bully runs him over. But luckily, it just so happens he's driving a dummy delivery truck. So the arm starts to rebuild himself another body. You know what I was hoping would happen? It bursts out of the back looking like a Last of Us boss. a malaise of arms and legs. But sadly, this is all they do. But you're thinking, at least they just have a normal werewolf. Hold on. Take a closer look. That's a rat man. Very much like a werewolf, but only changes into a rat when he smells garbage.
Unlike the human, the rat drags his testes as he walks.
When he changes into a human, he has no idea what he's doing and just kind of wanders around. When he becomes the Rat Man, he has no idea what he's doing and just kind of wanders around. But again, this is a clever take on the horrors of the atomic age, replacing the lore of the old world. And this is the best looking outfit in the movie, even if he can barely open his mouth. But again, little moments of brilliance shine through. Like when our Temu Monster Squad checks the movie for any clues on how to beat the monsters are gone, and the movie just stalls.
So, Doc, ain't you got any idea when these creatures of yours gonna show up?
I've told you 1,000 times, Lonergan. No.
Where did they go?
I do not know.
That's, like, really clever. I mean, I think they were ripping off Space Jam, but still. But in times like this, it's more important than ever that we rely on the Word of God. Literally, the old filmmaker wakes up from his pill coma and tells them how to beat the monsters.
Not hang up that cell phone, young lady. He is susceptible to high-frequency sound waves.
I'm just going to assume he meant radio waves. Then this whole thing would be kind of stupid. Finally, he reveals the way to get rid of the monsters once and for all.
That's my correction fluid from my desk.
Precisely.
Corrective fluid? I don't know what's goofier. That it actually works? That the producer never did this himself years ago? Or that Hallmark Legal called Bic and asked if they could mention their product in a movie, and they said, absolutely not. Now, it may seem like this could be an interesting watch, but it's still basically a Hallmark movie, which means vast planes of talking to get to the runtime. It takes 40 minutes for the monsters to show up. Also, the movie just breaks its inner workings immediately when they do. Because when the characters come out of the movie, the cop's gun is just a prop gun. It shoots blanks. Therefore, by that logic, the monsters should just be guys in makeup. And, not real monsters. With this video, I have now reviewed over 100 Halloween specials. And this, without a doubt, is the stupidest thing in any of them. Well, you can't shoot anyone in a kid's Hallmark movie. Then don't show it! Have the gun jam, or have him use up all his bullets in the film. Anything other than fighting the premise of your own movie. The monster makers will make you pull out your hair for Halloween. Well, it looks like that's about it for tonight. People are packing up. I hope you all had a wonderful year, and hopefully we see you again next time. Right? Right. Happy Halloween.